Happy Valentine's Day. And I have a bouquet of roses for you. It's a watercolor that I did a few years ago. Watercolors weren't a friend of mine for most of my life because I thought they were too difficult, or it was too technical, or I wasn't patient enough to wait for it to dry in between glazes. But I picked it up a few years ago and I found that I loved doing them, and I could do them, and I'll bet that you probably could too, if you so desired. The theme of this video is it's never too late to be the person that you want to be for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it's never too late. There's a place to start. And I am living proof of that. My 73rd birthday is coming up next week, and I'm looking forward to it. My 72nd year was the best year of my life. And even I was surprised at how things started to come together. Some of them just because I made choices to get on the stick and do what I wanted to do and do what I felt I needed to do. Over my life, I think that there were times when I made changes because traumatic incident or my back was up against the wall and I had to make a decision, a choice. Other times I made choices because I thought something was telling me, oh yeah, you should do this at this age or whatever. For instance, when I was 40, I had not been saving 10% of my income all those long years. So at the age of 40, I got a good client and I thought, okay, now I can afford to save. I was self-employed, so I thought, okay, now I can do it. But that was a little bit late starting, and as a result of that, I've told my daughter, you've got to be saving every penny, from the first time she started working. But your later years. It worked out. I'm okay. It's okay. I have enough, and that's good enough. I am rich in spirit. I think I live a luxurious life with simple things and mindfulness of all the richness and wealth that surrounds me in nature. Okay, and then also when I was 40, I realized I'm aware that bones and muscles start to lose their strength and they need to start working out. Otherwise, you're going to lose what you have. And so I bought some exercise equipment. I still have it. It's down in my basement. Nautilus type stuff, free weights and exercise mats and the whole shebang. Not that I was that disciplined while I was working as an interior designer, but I tried. Now it's my top priority. Exercise is my top priority every day because I realize that if you're not in shape, if you don't have your health, it just makes things much harder. So I do as much as I can. I could do better. I know I could do better, but I do work out regularly. Then if we jump ahead to more recent years, when I made the decision to leave a long marriage and pretty much close down my business in interior design, I bought a house, this house that I'm in right now, and it's like a metaphor for my life. It was about 100 years old, kind of run down, neglected, but it had good bones. It had a beauty that was just needed some tender loving care, and I could get it at a good price. Naively, I didn't realize how much it would cost really to renovate it in the way that I wanted it to be and decorate it. Financially, physically, it was a job. So, but now it's pretty much done. And I love it. I love it so much. It's like a little nest that I made myself. It's my own nest. It's my first real personal she shed, my space that I can operate in. So that was really important for me, to have a safe, secure, aesthetically pleasing space in which to live the rest of my life. Or for right now, let's just say, for right now. So that's just all a metaphor for how I breathed new life into this house that needed it so badly, and then in turn rejuvenated myself, renovated myself. I'm in a renaissance, and I've been adopted by a stray cat, so maybe I'm living like a cat. I've got another life coming at me. Some other choices that I made that were really, really key were that, along the lines of being an artist. I have a BFA and an MFA in painting, and that was a long time ago. And then I took the fork in the road, and for different reasons, and went into interior design. But I really wanted to get back into my practice of making art. And I don't think it's too late for that. I can be a Grandma Moses. There are artists that are being discovered all the time and having one-person shows in New York. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm happily putting together a website for the first time for my art, because they didn't exist back then when I graduated. And I have shown my work in a few group juried shows this past year. So I'm on a roll. I have a regular practice, and that is a dream come true for me. Another passion of mine is my piano. And I will tell you that I've been trying to learn for years and years and years, and it's something that I worked really hard on. But no, I would never play for the public. No, only family. That's it. Nobody else, because I was so hung up on making mistakes, fearing that I would make a mistake, or fearing that people would think badly of me, or, I wasn't perfect. And it was just totally ridiculous. It was completely ridiculous. It didn't help that my father was a musician. He was a professional, he was a pianist, but he died when I was young. And he was a great musician, but he couldn't help me with this stage fright that I had. And then my first husband was a really good pianist, and that just intimidated me. I probably fell in love with him because of his beautiful playing, but I couldn't even bring myself to play for him. I would practice when he was out of the house. It's craziness. So this year, I just decided that's not working for me anymore. I don't think I'm half bad as a pianist, and I get so much enjoyment out of it. Maybe other people would too, and who cares if I make a mistake or two or three. So I started to play in these recitals that I found for adults, and it's all levels, and I'm enjoying that. In fact, I'm going to play in one tonight. And I overcame my fears and obstacles, and opened the door, opened the window, and let the light pour in. And it's really made a big difference in how I feel about myself. I would say just try different things and give yourself a chance. Be like a plant and bloom. And actually, if you need to change the location of where you're planted in order to bloom, in order to get the sunlight, then that's what you need to do. But it does come down to you to make that choice. I would invite you to join me on my journey to continue to find ways to emphasize my own rebirth, to share it with me. And yeah, it's an odyssey. It's not going to end. but we are so important. Everybody is unique. Together, I think that we can figure this out and live our best life to the end.